Welcome. The highlights of the first of the best-of-3 finals of the Benson Hedges World Series Cup. This series between England and Australia. West Indies already having been eliminated. Well, it was rather a miserable morning in Melbourne for the start of these finals. A little bit of drizzle coming down. In fact, despite the best efforts of the umpires and the captains and all the players, although there was a 25,000 crowd in when play was scheduled to start, in fact, 62 minutes were lost. Eventually, they got underway by drying the outfield at just on 11 o'clock. The game was reduced to a maximum of 44 overs per side. Now, the team changes. First of all, the Australians, they left out Dirk Wellham, made him 12th man, and they brought in Bruce Reid. Now, that will weaken the batting a little, but it will certainly strengthen the bowling with Reid and Davis and the two spinners, Taylor and Matthews, and O'Donnell and Waugh. They're available for Border to use. England have made a change. There was a problem with Gladstone Small. He has a virus and he's out of the match. James Whittaker remains 12th man, but into the side comes Graham Dilley. So, in fact, you may find that Mike Gatting there has a bonus because Dilley has been quite outstanding so far in this tour, particularly now that he's got his outswinger back. But Tony Greig reported the pitch conditions to be very good. He thought there might have been a bit of movement off the seam because of the pitch being covered overnight and probably having sweated. And the toss was won by Mike Gatting of England. Alan Border's two-up luck seems to have deserted him for the moment, and England put Australia into bat. We pick it up now with 3 runs on the board. Graham Dilley is coming into bowl. Tim Zura, the new Australian opening batsman, is taking strike, and your commentators are Tony Greig and Bill Lurry.
In the air, he's got him out, caught by Gatting. Well, that is a beautiful delivery. The ball swinging away, starting around about off stump. A thick edge straight to Mike Gatting. He's been doing some catching practice out there this morning, and he made no mistake. So Tim Zura out, caught by Gatting.
Zura unable to handle the swing from Graham Dilley, so that ploy didn't work for Australia, and a good breakthrough by England once again.
In the air, Gatting's got him again. Well, another one to Gatting. That is a good catch too. It went very quickly. Marsh getting a thickish edge. It flew high as well to Gatting's right, and he snaffled it.
Well, Philip de Freitas, along with Chris Broad, one of the great successes for England on this tour. That ball bounced and moved away. Marsh went for it. Quite a lot of bounce. Got an outside edge away from his body, and Gatting did the rest. And Australia in a lot of trouble at 2 for 3, but a good performance by the England captain, winning the...
In the air, Gatting's got him. No ball called. Well, 3 out of 3 for Gatting, but all of a sudden it was 2. Well, what a line. That one certainly went off the edge very quickly to Gatting, who made the catch. Dilley dropped his head because the umpire was standing up with his hand in the air. No ball. Good shot. Lovely shot.
It's a great shot. Square drive. Foster is in the side because Gladstone Small wasn't fit.
Oh, that's a fine shot. He doesn't even bother to move. He doesn't have to. That's a good shot. Very delicate indeed. Deliberate shot.
Left it to the other guy. He's dropped it. Well, both his hands were up on his head. I tell you what, that went up miles. Whittaker came running around. He's the 12th man. How would you be? He's on for de Freitas at the moment. That went miles up in the air. And he never... This is a good little spell. Certainly a good over from Neil Foster. That was just a very little nick there from Border through to the keeper, and the French does not drop those straightforward chances. There it is, and a very deserved wicket there to Neil Foster. So Alan Border out for a very well played 42, and Australia now 3 for 100.
That's a boundary. It's picked the gap very nicely.
Picks up.
So there we have got a very bad run out. Greg Ritchie was looking to go back, stranded halfway down the wicket. Dean Jones almost stayed in his ground. So Dean Jones runs the first one hard and back. Ritchie thinks it's on. It's been interesting to hear exactly who called what. So Ritchie disappointed.
De Freitas, and he's got it. He's excellent in the outfield, Phil De Freitas. Not only does he cover the ground very quickly, but he's got a great pair of hands.
Well, perhaps going after the ball just a little bit early. A lot of vacant area out there in the area of mid-wicket or forward. But he hits the ball in the air. It stays up long enough for Philip De Freitas to move around. Covers a lot of ground, moving to his left. But in the finish, quite comfortably takes that catch in two hands. War is out for one. Australia now 5 down for 104.
Bowled him. Comprehensively bowled. Once again backing away. There may have been a bit of bat in that, I'm not too sure, but there's no doubt about the fact that Dean Jones, having played pretty well, is on his way back to the pavilion, having made 67.
Why on earth would he want to do that? Only going to get a single for it down to third man. So Jones is gone. 67. Australia 6 for 146 in the 38th over.
They've been preparing very dry wickets down there. That one glided away, and Dilly is the fielder. Bowled him, neck and crop. He really has bowled a beautiful line today. Swung the ball initially, but now that the ball's a little old, he's kept it nice and straight. And as was the case there, you miss them, and down go the stumps.
Some good cricket by England. They started off grabbing the advantage with 2 quick wickets, and they've kept up the pressure all the way through. Simon O'Donnell out for 10, 7 for 161. Peter Taylor, and I think he wanted to chat with Greg Matthews as he went past, but Matthews was busy having a chat with Chris Broad.
Stint in the field. Well bowled, clean bowled him. Well, how's that for accuracy? Bang on target, right up there in the block hole. And over goes the castle of Greg Matthews.
Excellent bowling from Dilly. He's bowled well all through the match, and all through the season for that matter, but that is perfect positioning in the middle of the middle stump, in the middle of the MCG, and Matthew.
Their partnership. This is the last ball. He smashed that to mid-wicket. It'll be 4. So 172 the total at the end of the...
Wonderful job, having got through those 2 early batsmen. They kept up the pressure all the way through that Australian innings, and that will be a disappointment so far as Alan Border is concerned. I reckon he will have been thinking in terms of 190. Might have thought of 200, but that could have been a bit ambitious. But 190 would have been the mark, and they're about 20 below that. They will have to bowl and field with impressive. Dilly 3 for 32, I thought was outstanding today, and De Freitas also bowled well, 2 for 32. Both of them turned in an excellent spell. 9 overs, no maiden, none for 26. Not a wicket there, but he could have had a couple, and he bowled with great accuracy. And Foster 1 for 42, and Embury 1 for 20.
First change, but he had to take over as opening bowler when Reid went out, and maintains that place now even though Reid is back. Typical Botham shot, stood up straight and hammered it behind point for 4 magnificent runs.
That's one of the reasons why Ian Botham has replaced Phil Ackley in the top order. If there is a delivery that's just a fraction off line, he has the ability. When in form, he goes well back and hammers that away for 4. The moment left the bat, it was going like a bullet. And that's Botham.
And he's hit that well. 1 goal all the way. Bruce Reid, who won't be the fastest man in the Australian team, treks after it, and they'll go. Well, he almost took off Taylor's head there at short mid-wicket. He had to go under it. They'll run 4 here quite comfortably. And if they'd hurried, they might well have got 5 on this vast Melbourne cricket ground. And he's now moved to 26 off 23 deliveries faced. The boundary pushing him up to 22. Very dangerous.
Simon O'Donnell to continue.
Typical Botham shot, and that's gone down the ground for a great 6 and a magnificent catch by the Channel 9 cameraman down there. Cool as a cucumber.
That's a classic catch for 87. That'll take some beating amongst our crew. Beautifully judged. He was cool as Botham. Struck that beautifully down the ground. It was a glorious shot, lifting Simon O'Donnell straight over mid-off for 6. Ian Botham timing that beautifully as Tony Fox takes the catch.
Well, that 6 seems to have rattled O'Donnell. Didn't rattle Tony Fox, who in fact is just taking a break down there. He's usually our commentary box cameraman, and took it as cool as a cucumber, just with a cigarette still in the mouth, bat down and taking a puff. And this is Botham just about going mad now. 12 runs off the over, and Botham could win it almost on his own. No wicket for 46. Left-handed read. Well, there it was. Just too wide for Alan Border. He's got that through. Ian Botham, always dangerous at any time, but more especially here in the one-day internationals in this World Series Cup, when in the first 15 overs only 2 men can be placed outside the field restricted area.
And Botham surely is a man that wants to take strike. Was looking for strike. Well, what a marvellous 50. It really has been an exciting knock. Big crowd here have enjoyed it no end. Pull shot through mid-wicket, the square drives backward at point, and that one, a fierce cover drive to the boundary.
Oh, he dropped him. Well, he was dropped there as a result of sheer power. I can remember dislocating a finger when trying to catch a catch hit at me at that sort of pace, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's done some damage there. Botham murdered that one. Have a look at it.
Pivots the feet, rolls the wrist, crashed that one into Richie. Richie also may be carrying the legacy of a broken finger that earlier in the season. To play with a fair bit of tape on the hand earlier on. A 90 to 100 metre hit to get that one over the side screen.
Well bowled, but he's murdered that one as well. Straight down the ground. Botham is in full flight. It's in the air over the top of the wicketkeeper's head, and that too will probably get down to the boundary. Well, it never rains, but it pours. Botham going for everything and having his fair share of luck as well.
I think it was said somewhere this morning in the commentary that the team prepared to take the most risks, in fact win this game. Botham always has been a risk taker. It's not in his nature just to push down the line and wait, hope. He's an attacking, aggressive player. Luck with him there, just 2 men outside the circle.
Oh, he smashed that one miles as well. It's gone down towards the long boundary. It'll only bounce about 5 times before it goes into the fence down there. That was a real powerhouse lofted cover drive. No wicket for 80.
Now Bruce Reid.
Oh, and that's, I think, a chance. That ball has gone through, and the umpire at square leg has called that one no ball. Now, the question is, did it hit him on the glove? It may well have done. It didn't look to me as if it had gone over shoulder height, although he was standing on his toes when this went past. Let's have another look.
Well, that one sounded very much like it hit the glove or the handle of the bat. Let's have a look at the height again. Check the height. Well, it's got the glove. It was around ribcage high, but he was certainly extended in.
Stephen Waugh.
As we see that one there, put away, dispatched beautifully to the mid-wicket boundary. And what a fine shot.
There's a man back at mid-wicket, one down behind square on the leg side, and there's also one at point. He's hit that down the ground. It's in the air. He'll be out first ball, I should think. Caught down there by Marsh. He's got it. He's out. Caught by Marsh down on the boundary. So both of them straight away deciding to try and smash Matthews out of the attack as well. It went high in the air. Marsh came in and made no mistake.
Shout of catch it, and what a brilliant catch. Dean Jones. Well, he did exactly what Greg Matthews told him to do. Matthews shouted out, catch it. And what a beauty it was. Beautiful shot from David Gower. Excellent placement and good timing. And just over the top of Zura's head. Top edge from David Gower.
It's in the air, and it's over the top. That's 4 runs. Beats Davis at mid-off, and Gower timing that beautifully.
The strategy was right. The same tactics as Matthews to force the batsman to try and hit in the air. There's no doubt about that. A little extra elevation. He got there early and no problems at all. A sweet timer of the ball.
Goes again. That's 4 more. That's a replay. Beautifully timed. There's the caught and bowled specialist. Durrati trying to hit down the ground. Out went the hand. It bubbled up and he caught it on the second grab. And there's no doubt about Greg Matthews. He's electrifying. He's a personality and he's a superb fielder of his own bowling.
They were great friends of yours from memory too, Tony.
Oh, lovely shot. Through the gap and down to the point boundary. Just out of the reach of Marsh. Seven from the over, 3 for 150. That's in the air, and that'll be out. No trouble at all. Gower going to heave that one down the ground. Doesn't quite middle. So 4 to win. Gatting will settle for 1. Matthews does the fielding.
This was some excellent. That good bowling helped to restrict the Australian total to 8 for 171. And then England got away to a good start when Ian Botham hit 71 off just 52. That's played away on the offside. That's the winning run. Don't forget the match on Wednesday starts at 2:30 at Sydney. Still some tickets available for that one. England are 1-0 up and Australia will be looking to level it in Sydney on Wednesday evening.
8 overs to spare. Well, you can't have anything much more conclusive than that. And England thoroughly deserved their victory in the first of these finals. It was an outstanding performance from them, both with their bowling, then their batting, and throughout the time they were in the field. And I thought Gatting led them very well also. The card of their innings, they needed the 172 to win. They got it for the loss of 4 wickets. Broad out for 12, Botham 71. What a good innings that was. 71 in 52 balls. He went from 14 to 68. That's 54 runs in only 26 balls faced. And at one point, he scored 47. whilst Broad scored just 2 singles. And Broad was very sensible. Whenever he did get the strike, he made sure he gave it to Bertham as soon as possible. Athey 12, Gower a delightful 45 in 47 balls. It was a lovely knock, and Lamb and Gatting added the coup de grace at the end. England won by